grew up from being kids, and you know, the five of us in one apartment, like so many other bands, you know, it was a whole different vibe. I mean, back then there was a whole rebellious part of things. I mean, if you were in a rock band, you were like kind of living outside of society almost, you know, and it's just not like that anymore. I mean, you're not like making a social statement by being in a rock band, just like another kind of music that people play, you know, and I kind of miss that part of it. There are a lot of things about the book, about how I ended up here. A big part of it is that, you know, the early days before Aerosmith. But I don't spend too much time in the 70s because a lot of that's been written about. It's mostly the last 20 or 25 years when the band got back together. There was a lot of things that we just never talked about in the press and never got out there. And going through stuff that I thought that, you know, I just would never have to think about again, you know, making peace with it. Figured I was done with that stuff. And, you know, going in there and saying, you know, having to admit, you know, letting this one down or screwing up here or screwing up there. It was tough, you know, and I've said it a few times. It's like talking to a shrink, only you don't get anything back. You don't have to be an Aerosmith fan or even a rock and roll fan to relate to a lot of the things, a lot of the way we interacted as people. The way the band, the dynamic of the band staying together, I don't know, there's something that just that keeps us together and getting out there and getting on stage and feeling 18 again. And I think that people don't have to be rock and roll fans to get that. Wanted to have something totally stripped down, you know, as little wiring back there as possible. So I started making adjustments to it, and I asked them at Gibson if they would see about putting this type of vibrato on there. They were amenable to it, and they had this thin body that hadn't been finished yet, and they went ahead and put the one pickup in it. This little thing that these guys, the guys at Chandler put together over the years ago. It's like a wah-wah, basically on tone control. That gives me enough 11 that you could ever want. It adds so much to the tone, and the variety of things you can do with it. It's a riot. So it's the one thing that we just added about 3 weeks ago. That's really turned it into a pleasure to dig into. I think there's going to be a lot of songs coming out of this guitar.